we will be watching a Sensei. Hello guys, welcome to my video. We'll be watching a Sensei video, one of his older videos that he did.
There's a lot of people out there that would tell you not to throw any kicks in a street fight.
Okay, so this is a video where he talks about why he believes Sensei kicks will work in a street fight, and I'm gonna view them and explain to you why I believe some of them just won't work. And I'm gonna give you my reason why this stuff, and why because in my last video you'll see me reacting to street fight MMA fights that are MMA fighters versus street fighters videos in my last video. In this video, I'm gonna look at the tips that is given in these street fight tips, and see how they pan out, and why I think which kick you shouldn't do. I'm not saying you shouldn't kick but
today I'm going to give you five kicks that I approve for you to throw in a street fight. Not legally though. 5 kicks that I think will keep you from getting taken down, from slipping and falling if you're wearing shoes, keep you from getting punched while you're doing it, and kind of just like regarding overall safety to your body while also doing harm or keeping somebody away from you or off of your buddy. Okay, so I purposefully have keys and phone in my pocket. I'm wearing what I would wear on a regular basis. I haven't stretched, I haven't warmed up. I'm just gonna throw some of these kicks to kind of like further prove this point, because you don't get to pick when you are in an altercation. First one is super simple and super boring, which is...
This is true. You don't get to pick when you can do kicks. Some of these kicks are... I'm gonna exit that. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get Paul up here so you can see me talking. You don't have... so... I like the fact he's wearing shorts in the demonstration, and people do wear long sleeve shirts with shorts. I think that's weird, but I get it, because some people, the upper body gets colder than the lower body, and I don't know. Just to me, it's just weird. Anyways, because I know my buddy. Obviously, you should know your own. As I was saying here, I'm doing some stuff. Then I'll do another video. With this, I'm gonna do 2 of them. Stay tuned for the other video that I'm talking about, and I will digress and dissect the 2 videos that we watched together. So let's get that going right now.
Why we're doing it first. It is a low roundhouse kick, but there's a key difference that I want to make in throwing this low roundhouse kick. This is probably going to be the most obvious one. If you're standing in front of this guy and you are within arm's reach, and I throw a roundhouse kick just like this, just a little...
Yeah. So we watched the last video. You saw that happen when the guy came forward and he does the low round kick back to the kneecap, and he slipped his leg out on her. Yes, continue.
Little taster that you would see in MMA fights or kickboxing or whatever, where they're just kind of standing here. They throw that. That is not the intention of this kick. The intention of it...
Oh, I just hit my face.
That's the intention of this kick, actually. If we're getting to the point that I know I can't de-escalate it anymore, he starts throwing hands or something, I don't want my low kick to be in front of his hands. For this first one, I want it to be like a basic Muay Thai principle, which is just get off the center line. If I'm throwing a kick that's kind of like a feeler, there's the chance that he's just going to disregard all human life and just whang, move forwards and punch. Not too uncommon. I want to move off the center line, bang, and ideally utilize the fact that he's going to have a lot of weight over top of that leg and just crack right at that knee.
And what he's talking about is the back of the knee.
I don't want to take the chance of me bang, maybe hitting something, but still being there.
What happened.
I ideally want to get off the center line and throw that kick at the same time. One of the main risks that you're gonna have if you're kicking while somebody else is punching is obvious, it's getting punched. Especially if they're the aggressor, they have intent. So what I wanna do is I wanna be able to kick while mitigating that risk, step off, whack, right to the leg. Hey man, I know my girl's prettier than yours. You can't fight me because of it.
He does wild knees. I think that's one thing he's good at, doing means.
Now, kick number 2 is going to be maybe a little controversial because they don't work. Frankly, if I had the knowledge that something was about to go down, there's nothing I could do about it, it was about to happen, and somebody was at a space that I could throw a side kick, that's probably gonna be one of my first moves. One, because
side kicks do work. The idea of the side kicks. Side kicks can be used as a stop hit. Again, it can be a way for you to open and bridge a gap. Side kicks can be a powerful kick of practice. I've seen a lot of demonstration where somebody had a shield and they kicked the guy far away from it. JKD is very they show that basically what those kicks those side kicks does, it's not meant to hurt people, but you create space. That's what one thing about I do like side kicks, that they generally can generate a lot of power. In fact, Bruce Lee has broken ribs. And with the side kicks, supposedly he busted a heavy bag by 100 pounds. You know, the bags that he's kicking out, busting them with a side kick. And he does have. I don't think there's a video footage of that one particularly saying, but his students, the people that he's trained with, saw it happen. The eyewitnesses, per se, be cool if they could have got a video of that. But there is footage where Bruce Lee has trained on the bag on his Enter Dragon video, special edition video. They did. Anyways, let's continue onward. Oh, another good tip. What psychics? Okay. So you saw he hit the whole part of the foot. Let's see if I can grab me a shoe. A shoe. Okay, we got a shoe. So the ideally is you don't want to hit. You're not aiming for the. Most of people when they throw a side kick, they hit this general area, the entire foot. I like to aim with the heel going in, and yes, with the heel striking, but hitting first. But at the same time, when I hit, the impact from the heel and this part of my foot causes a lot of damage to your solar plex. I can break ribs. As I was saying, and into the dragon scene where Bob Wall get hit in that area, flies backwards. Supposedly, in that scene, and I kept it where Bruce Lee actually hit Bob Wall with that set kick, and not only his ribs were broken, the impact of him flying backwards broke the people behind. There's a person that was behind Paul Wall. His arm was broken. He not a lot of damage, it was just like one kick.
I'm not super worried about somebody catching my foot if I'm like this. That happens to me all the time. I practice doing that kind of stuff, so I'm not really super worried about it. 2, because I've got a decent Philly shell. Like, I'm okay seeing punches, bang, bang, bang. It's not the best, but it's better than the average person's ability to punch. Now, this isn't gonna be anything fancy. I'm not saying, oh, side kick to the face, like jump up, Bruce Lee, pendulum step. I'm thinking more along the lines of like,
so he said jump up step. He does it. So in the movies, yes, Bruce did a lot show a lot of jumping, but that was just to add flair to his films. When he didn't taught, he didn't in his style of his fighting method. But Jeet Kune Do. In the sense of fist, he didn't, he does, you can watch all types of JKD instructional footage. Nobody shows the jump kick, flying kicks. Only thing he, like I said, he add flow to his movies to when he does the jump kick, flying kicks. In fact, one of my favorite flying kicks he does in his movies is with him and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, where he jumps up and think about this though. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was about 7 foot tall, or maybe a little over 7 foot tall. Bruce jumped up and his foot was able to have his foot at his face level. Bruce had to hop. Supposedly, there was no strings or nothing. He jumped. That was him physically jumping. No strings and nothing. Just jump like a little ninja that he is. And Bruce, he impressed a lot of people by doing what he did in movies. He tried to be as realistic as possible in his films, so that when people want to see it, oh man, that looks like it could work in actual fight. This guy, realism in a fight scene is so unreal. Okay, if you don't know nothing about Jeet Kune Do or anything about what Bruce Lee actually taught, then you gotta get things wrong. Like Sensei Seth, which I know his background is supposed to be Kempo karate. At the end of the video, I'll talk about a little bit about that. After I'll talk about a little bit of the other tips that I will see with kicking, street fight kicks.
Like Wonder Boy, who's snapping it in to somebody's ribs while they're charging in and sitting them down ideally, and maybe even breaking a rib cage or two if we're lucky. So super simple. I can stand here, keep myself in a good position where my hip is inside of my foot. I'm kind of sideways and I'm like, hey man, look, this doesn't seem like that's going to be the first thing that happens. I've worked on the timing of that so much that it's wild. I'm here, I'm just like chilling. Being able to pop out a side kick really quick is an option that I think would work.
Let's see if I can get that.
Being able to pop out a side kick really quick is an option that I think would work.
Okay, his side kicks goes to further. Let me get that shoe here. I'm watching his side kicks. It goes further towards the front, towards the bottom of the front. I particularly like my side kick closer to the back. If I can, hitting the if you watch I'm gonna do a video where you can hit the difference between the kicks that he does with how much he's on and everything. That'll be 100-pound bag like his that he shows right here. You hear a lot loud popping sound, and that's what you want. That's when you know your kicks or snapping. He's got a small thing. I'm gonna go back a little bit, and you can hear the little sound. It's not a high sound.
I'm here. I'm just like chilling. Being able to pop out a side kick really quick is an option that I think would work.
The reason why his is not powerful, and the reason why
now, especially since these guys aren't going to be blocking the body, they're going to
possibly why Stephen Warren Thompson side kicks seem to be more powerful because of the fact he's hitting probably close to the heel of the foot. The when Sensei Seth sidekicks, and I'm not saying his sidekicks are bad, is that his sidekicks when he hits, it's closer to the ball of the foot. That's not what you want. That's not where the power is going to be at. It's going to be closer to the heel of the foot, and that's where you can. That's where it will sting a lot more. You have that more popping sound, and that's more of the snapping sound to that set kick than what he's doing with that kick.
They're going to have their hands higher. They're going to be more worried about their head, being able to sneak something in, and especially something where I can cover a lot of range. It's something that you have to practice all the time in order to make it good when you absolutely need it. I don't know if you watched the video that I did with Icy Mike where we talked about what animals we can beat up, but in that video I talked about how I sidekicked a deer to save my girlfriend's life, pretty much. Maybe it wasn't that serious, but I did sidekick the deer, and it was something that felt like the natural thing to do. I was like, oh, go bang! And I kicked it in the head, not hard, enough. It was enough. But we were on grass, it was wet. I didn't slip and fall because I knew what my capabilities were. I didn't practice the side kick for a street fight. This is important. Listen to this. Come over here.
I have a challenge for all of you. Go to every computer in your house, your mom's, your dad's, your sister, your brother's computer, and install Honey. Wait, Mom, before you check out, do you have Honey in?
We're gonna change scenery and everything because this is so important. I don't practice the kicks for a street fight. I practice the kicks to get better at the kicks, which kind of allows me to be able to throw them when I want.
That's a good point there. I like how he made up the point of he's right. You don't practice the kick to be good use it in a street fight. You practice the kick to get the better use of sharpen your tools, so to speak, right? So it's, and I'm not dog shitting on his what he says on anything. I like that.
Them under different circumstances. We can go back now. With that being said, side kick to the body for me, Sensei proved. Sensei. Next combo is going to be a 1-2 roundhouse kick.
Sensei. Not a lot of people know this, but Sensei literally translate. Anybody can be a teacher. Doesn't matter what knowledge you have, you can be a sensei. Like, if you're an awesome drawer, you have good skill for drawing somebody, drawing or something. You know, if that is something you like to do, you're really good at it. Maybe you didn't go to school, maybe you didn't get a degree. You technically can be a sensei. Doctor, another translation of the word sensei is doctor. Professor, so a professor can be is known as senseis. There's that. The word sensei is just an acknowledgement that hey, I got this knowledge. I've been doing it for a long time, and I want to share it with you. You could be known as sensei.
I don't usually like the idea of staying too close for too long in these situations, especially if they're going with like that whole thing that people do. So a lot of people go into fights with like this bang, and then they back up. They shoot in, they get long, and then they back up. I don't hate hate the idea of kind of just like and throwing a high kick. One, because it sets up the momentum, so it doesn't have to be a pure high kick, where you kind of have to force the muscle.
That's the so that's a little thing. More Thai do they like to do the jab, cross, and what he's saying is because you torquing that body, your real kick allows you that real kick comes up for that high round kick, to hit to the head level, even to the body, whatever. Let's say he go and knows okay, if he knows that maybe you might throw a kick. I specifically would hit for the body because 1, 2, then that hit body shot, and I can sidestep to a hook or something, maybe to a hook uppercut. Whether it's open, that's what I would do as for setting something up. Setting something up like that does take practice and good timing skills.
To go. I can move forwards and let this momentum that I'm already making with my arms carry through my legs. Now granted, this isn't the option for everybody, but I think it's something that you can practice a lot. You probably do practice a lot. It's basic. 1, 2, bang. Moving forwards the whole time. That can deal a decent bit of power that it doesn't really matter if it's blocked. Number 4 and 5 are definitely my most controversial.
The reason why that works because a lot of people, when they try to block it, they don't block it too perfectly, and when you come around that round hand kick, it can go back of the. Hold on, I'm gonna take this off for a second. It goes right here. I don't know if you can see the back of my neck, but you're aiming when somebody try to block it, and there's been times where if you watch MMA fights, where people get knocked out from the kick still because they don't adjust their blocking. Sometimes you might have to use 2 hands to block that kick, and you're gonna get knocked out. It's easy to just turn around and then and hit just right behind the ear, and you get knocked out. Well, the saying goes, well, you get knocked out because you get hit by something you don't see.
First one's a spinning wheel kick. I don't want to hit the back.
So he calls that a spinning wheel kick. The real technical term is a spinning side kick. You can do some of them you do a spin. That's a fairly low spinning.
Bag too hard because I got shoes on.
That's a little better.
Like who's gonna see that coming?
That's a hook. Okay, now there's a hook.
People don't understand the range of kicks, and people who do understand the range of kicks probably don't get in street fights, unless they're like Mike Perry. What I did is before I started recording this video, I was like, okay, five kicks that I can make work in a street fight.
So he said Mike Perry. Mike Perry, if you don't know, is his also name is Ice and Mike. So because when he redid the real kick, but all that initially there's another name for it, is a spinning hook kick, and that just so what happened is you're coming in and you're hooking the foot, and that you're hitting with the heel of the foot. That's it could be spinning heel kick is another term for it. Spinning wheel kick is fine. Whatever you want to call it, that's fine. I don't agree with this kick. I've been posted down. I don't really agree with the spinning wheel kick unless you've been practicing. It's not that it's hard to do, but it does require timing, sparring. All right, you want to spar before you hit the. It's a kind of a more of a fence. It's a fence kick because if you don't know how to do a front kick. Side kicks are the other easier kicks to do. Round kicks are I like the front round kicks, although they normally not done with power, but fight a good snapping round kick from the front leg to the rear leg is great because, and they can knock out people as well. But the thing is with the front kick, there are quicker kicks and there are good kicks. Evers of Thought uses the front legs and one of their kicks is they use their toe and they're hitting so what their kicks is going in with a toe and hitting because this is the real shoes. I don't, as long as you're not wearing shoes that like that, but the ideally is when you come in, you're hitting the sternum with that toe, and it's a quick kick right here. That's as if the person's kicking like this, and that's the round kick. The safat, if they do a safat, and the kicks. And if your hands are here, the ideally is when these kicks can go through a very tight guard and hit that sternum. Like I said, if I was a boxer and I could do a safat kick like that too, and I can use my toes, boom, into the sternum. Now you got, and now you're open for another, for a knee, for an uppercut, for whatever. The ideally is now I'm opening you up for another attack, and that's one thing. But I think he doesn't understand about safat, and why they use shoes.
Maybe I should have gone with 3. Look, man, I believe you. I believe that you're a backgammon world champion.
That's a beautiful.
No. It's totally okay that you skipped me in line at the grocery station.
But see how he's whipping.
With now,
So he's okay. So this
Yeah, I feel good about that. Maybe that one's not sensei proved for the. Yeah, I feel good about that. Maybe that one's not sensei proved for the average person just yet. Keep watching my channel, maybe. Maybe the average will go up, but for a little bit, maybe not. Maybe this should be 4 things. When I teach karate, I say, karate is to protect yourself and people that can't protect themselves. This one's kind of more for the second part. The next sensei proved kick would be the flying side kick.
Flying side kick.
Maybe not to the face always. But the idea of running up, jumping, and sending your full body into somebody who is mounted and throwing strikes on like a loved one, I am cool with that. Let me go on record to say, I'm cool with that. Like, it doesn't even have to have good form like that one. Like, it doesn't have to be a bang. If you run and you jump at somebody, now granted, you could miss. So even if you miss, you're still gonna be okay. I would almost honestly rather you do that than see your buddy or your loved one or your mom or something in a bad situation and go bang and throw a hopeful punch. Launch yourself at them. I guess you can hop on their back if you know jiu-jitsu or whatever. You've seen multiple clips like this on the internet. It might not be a bad idea. And that is
however,
4.5 sensei.
So he did that as a meme, but there's a lot of videos where people actually done a million nugget choke and saved the, I guess pretty much you can say saved the day like a superhero. I mean, it's this video you can find it when somebody get it out of hand, somebody grabbed the back, did a million nugget choke. The guy it was on a train. It was crazy. I mean. That's that. So just finish this.
Improved kicks that I think are viable for a street fight. Kicks that are not necessarily going to get you caught as often. You're probably not going to slip up on many. Well, maybe the Spinning wheel kick. Spinning wheel kick is the most high risk. The main reason that I feel comfortable with the idea of kicking is because I know I've practiced kicking people way more often than people on the street have practiced being kicked. Obviously, the main rule is always try not to get into a fight if you don't have to. Odds are that if you're doing some of this stuff to people who are in like a long range, you might be the one starting the fight. Take a little second to think about that. Subscribe or I'll kick you. Bang!
Let's look at this. See if I his this is what this is his little tips on here. This is I'm gonna use this.
What's going on, guys? Shane here, another Fight Tips quick tip. So today I'm going to give you 3 reasons on why you should not kick in a street fight. Now, this isn't to say that you should never kick in a street fight. I just want to give you 3 things to consider before you go and throw that kick. So the first thing is the possibility of slipping. Okay, are you fighting on a slippery surface like loose gravel, ice in the wintertime, or wet grass? Chances of slipping are a lot higher when you throw a big kick. Okay. Another reason is restrictive clothing like tight jeans. Right. If you go to throw that kick and there's not enough give or enough room, you could pull the support leg out from underneath of you. And very similar to that, cold muscles, right? You're probably not going to have a chance to warm up before you go and throw this kick, before you get into a street fight. So you could pull something in your leg, or same thing, you just pull that support leg out from underneath of you and you're on your butt or on your back in a very bad position. All right. The next reason is inexperience. Now, you're not going to go and throw a kick unless you've absolutely mastered it, okay? I feel as comfortable throwing a head kick as I do my jab. If I see a spot open and I want to lift my leg up, I know I can control it, I know I'm flexible enough, and I know I can aim it to hit that person in the side of the head. Yes, I have landed a head kick in a fight and it ended it, all right? It's going back to flexibility as well. If you're not completely flexible enough to the point where you can land a head kick every time, you know, then I don't want you to chance it now.
And that can happen right there.
Don't show off. Don't show off in a street fight. Stick to the basics, or at least stick to what you know before you go and try to do some flashy kick and end up on your back. No good. All right, the last reason is catching kicks. It's very easy to catch kicks to the body. It's almost natural, right? If someone throws a roundhouse kick to the body and they just naturally go like this and grab that leg, or even a teep to the stomach, which I definitely recommend doing, but it is possible for someone to snatch it up like this. So you need to set up your kicks with punches, okay? Or even just a feint up top. Get them to blink. Get them to cover up. Get them to react some type of way.
You guys get
then
tips.
Throw your kicks, all right? No single kicks, as Boss Rutan always says. All right, so there's a lot of different things and variables to consider before you throw your kicks.
Here's the thing. One thing he doesn't really point out too is that a lot of these kicks that you do, or you want, if you wanted, like you said, you do want to practice these kicks. But when you practice these kicks, you want to use protective gear or whatever, what have you. He has good tips on what he's saying. But I think the absolutely the all kicks, like when they Sensei Seth did not do, is the front kick. Front kicks are the best kicks, especially for a beginner to use. I have to agree with Shane here. Don't do kicks unless you are able. But yes, there's a chance that you can slip. I did a video. I was using sandals of flip-flops. So excuse me. I was using flip-flops on the video, and it was raining. It was raining, and it didn't slip. Obviously, because I've done kicks before. I've been doing martial arts for a long time. I do like his tips right there.
But like I said, if you mastered them and everything else is good, the surface that you're fighting on, and you feel confident in your kicks, then yeah, they could end the fight. They could be great. Most people don't expect kicks, so why not throw them? With that being said, tomorrow we're doing a virtual sparring seminar on throwing kicks, mastering kicks. I'm going to give you drills that you can practice at home. I'm going to give you combos to set them up, and then we're going to go over flexibility drills so that you can get those high kicks, stretches that you can do at home. So for all of you that are members, definitely check it out. It'll be tomorrow. All the information is right here. And if you're not a member, please sign up. It's fun because we have an interactive chat in there with all the members, all your teammates in there. People ask great questions. And if you have any other fight, nutrition, or questions like that, bring them in with you and I will answer them in the live stream tomorrow. If you haven't subscribed to Fight Tips, please do so that you can get those fight tips before your opponent does. Until next time, I'm Shane with Fight Tips. Self-defense.
This is his.
Have you heard about the weird wealth building experiment these 5 brothers did?
This will probably be the last one.
So these guys set out to discover what online...
Okay, no. Hear me out. So what you're saying is that me, who's practiced kicks for literally as long as someone can have practiced kicks.
I don't want to talk about it.
You just can't throw kicks in a street fight. There's nothing you can
I'm
tell
sorry.
me. Did you say you don't think that I could use kicks in a street fight? Okay, so no, I mean, okay, we can. Is this what we're? Okay.
It's a meme.
What do you do?
This guy's saying shit.
All right, look, man. If we have to do this, we can.
Hey,
okay?
whoa.
Did you just change? No, this isn't. Yeah, I know. I thought you crossed the line, dude. I just thought we were gonna match. I wore this because you wore that. All right, look.
I did.
Perfect.
I know it's why I'm big on that. Okay, so the kicking of that. I don't know if you've seen the video where he, him and his dad are talking to each other, and the bottle kicks that he does off of Bob's head is it was an inspiration of his dad. His dad showed him that. Now let me go ahead and say this. Supposedly hit him and Stephen Thompson both have the same style of karate, which is Kenpo karate, which is especially if it's American base, which Ed Parker is the creator of that, and he brought it to America in the 60s, and he did certified other people, but when he died, he did not pass the torch to somebody who to become the next grandmaster. So now anybody can come say, yeah, I know Kenpo karate, and you want to know that the lineages are from Ed Parker. So let's finish this. Looks like that's Ice-T. Ice-T? Is that? I can't really tell. I say he's a big fella as well. So.
What is up? My name is Seth, and today we're going to talk about different kicks and how I think they should work in a street fight, the pros of each of the, we'll say 4 or 5 kicks that I decided to talk about, and then the cons of each one.
Look at his belt. And I think I saw, well, there, so, belts, hold on, let me get me a better look at his belt.
What is up? My name is
I'm gonna go on here and full screen it. So he's okay. Suppose it looks like the 3 lines means he's a 3rd degree black belt. The red. So I don't know how many people know this, but the red on the stripes represent going towards your 9th. Your 8th and 9th degree black belt, and that's a red, really red belt. That's what the color of the stripes. So when you see a red belt, nowadays they're not real red belts, and I'll tell you why. Because the red belts are supposed to be meant for the 8th and 9th degree, when the grandmaster dies, and that person becomes the next grandmaster, their belt is the red color, and you can probably find that in Google. You can search it up, you can look it up, you can read it, do your own research and see what I'm saying, match it. So there you go. Let's keep going. Let's see.
And today we're going to talk about different kicks and how I think they should work in a street fight, the pros of each of the, we'll say 4 or 5 kicks that I decided to talk about, and then the cons of each one of them, why you shouldn't throw them or why you should throw them. Buckle in, you're in for a kicky ride, boy. Wow!
Nice front kick. Nice,
Oh, sorry, looks like you had a little bit of foot on your face. First one we're gonna talk about is a side kick. The most powerful kick in all of martial arts. Super quick introduction to how the side kick works. You go like this. Knee comes up to the opposite shoulder. Heel immediately points at the target the whole time. Boom, 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 boom. Hip stays in front of the heel. Bang! And you drive with both halves of your leg. You have to be a little bit more sideways to your opponent for this one. But
not really.
Incredibly powerful. Probably one of the more long-range attacks. Hey man, I want to drop this.
So yeah, he's right. That's in traditional sense. You notice his body. It's like he did. So one thing he messed up. The stance is called horse stance. It's supposed to look like he's riding a horse. He's bladed, so that he's sideways, and he's able to. You don't have to. So in traditional sense, yes, you should be in that stance, and that's a good way. But if you learn it in JKD, you stay in the on guard. The Banjan stance, that's in a different video. Sorry, I'm not going a little longer than I want, but that's just one.
Right? Head stays far away from your target as long as you make contact. Also, pros, nobody on earth who's trying to have fisticuffs with you is expecting for you to pop out a side kick. If I'm standing here like this, I'm like, look, dude, I don't want any problems. And I drop a side kick into your ribcage, bad news. If you have the facilities for finesse when it comes to this side kick, you can really, really do some damage. You can pump one out really quick. You can cover a lot of range and keep yourself safe. But we're not just here to talk about the pros, let's also talk about the cons for side kicks in a street fight. Number 1, if I miss, I'm in bad trouble. Do not throw kicks unless you are prepared to get taken down or punched in the face. If you've only thrown kicks without the threat of getting grabbed and dumped, or the threat of being punched in the face while you do it, don't throw kicks in a street fight, period. Not worth it. If I'm here and I missed wildly somehow, or if you throw side kicks like a lunatic and you pick your knee up first and you let your foot dangle until you then turn it over, don't do that either. You have to be...
So, he's a big fan of what I call snapping side kicks. Where you are squared off like it was and then turn it. That takes a lot of practice and timing to do it. They can become very effective and powerful if you practice enough to do it. So, and I'll if you want to see that done, post the comment down below. I'll be happy to show a demonstration of that. How look on a hip bag, or my Tommy dummy that's out that I have out. I'll probably do a Tommy dummy out because my bag it's in the corner and it's not too wide open. I'll have to get it out, then put it all the way back, and it's gonna be a pain in the ass. Hopefully one day I'll have my own dojo. So if I keep watching, hopefully y'all will help me get me have a spot where I can show you guys more tips and stuff. I'm just trying to I'm a martial art author. I did write a book. It's on Apple books only right now. I'll pop the description because you check it out. Let's continue.
Be ready to get caught and dumped, worst case scenario. You should always be thinking about worst case scenario when it comes to a fight. Don't throw this kick unless you are prepared to deal with the consequences of if it all goes wrong. Con number 2, it's a little bit harder to throw the hands right after. So for example, with a roundhouse kick, bang, bang, my hips are a little more squared up to my opponent if I land it. But if I land a side kick, bang, now my back is a little bit further away, so I can't necessarily follow up the same way I would with a roundhouse kick. Bang, bang.
That's not true at all. Side kicks, especially the traditional way he did the side kicks, yeah, you'll have you are going to get you in a line where I could punch you, but if you keep your hands up still, and then when you go back to the side kick, I'm almost if I'm gonna stand up. If I can I stand up? Am I able to do this? I don't know. I'm gonna try. So you got my body. I'm through it. I'm through it. I say coming up, and I'm gonna throw a side kick here, and boom. I want to turn my body. If I am doing this, if I'm here, and I'm here, I'm gonna pop up, and I can pop up quick, pop up, boom, and throw that kick. I can do what I call a pendulum movement, right? So I like pendulum side kicks. One of the things about pendulum side kicks, you can hit and come back out. Bruce Lee, that's one of Bruce Lee's favorite moves is the pendulum side kicks, where he can come in, pop, elf, but when he does it, he can do it with generate a lot of power, a lot of explosive, by hitting with that heel. And he does a big, what I call a sliding side kick, but when he does it, it's like a jump. He kind of jumps, and he kind of jumps. I mean, he's not up in the air throwing, but he kind of goes in, and he throws like because the purpose of that is trying to get as much distance. And that's what he was all about. As when you're in something, or when you're fighting somebody, you want to bridge that gap. You want to be here, and throw a punch or a kick, whatever you're throwing. You want to be able to bridge that gap as much as you can, so that way you get into that range. If you especially if you don't have a long if somebody's got a longer range than you want to get to the side of the range, you have to cover that distance between you and your opponent. Continue. Onward.
For a front kick. Now, it can present a little bit of a pro in itself, where if somebody's coming in, and then I can bolt out of there, if you have that kind of room, and that's the scenario that you're in. That you need to pop somebody and then get out. But which leads us to our next one. The next one we're going to talk about is roundhouse kicks for a street fight. Okay? So,
Zoom fatigue is real. Say hello to Loom and asynchronous video messaging. Now you can record your
back leg roundhouse kick. To the legs. Nobody sees it coming, and humans do this really weird, interesting thing, where if you throw a roundhouse kick and it lands on somebody's legs, for whatever reason, even if they're not trained, they'll like throw one back. It's like the duplicate method or whatever. I don't know why they do it. But let's talk about the different capabilities the roundhouse kick has. It's an extremely powerful kick. It lets you turn your hips into it. I'm a lefty with my legs, so let's go with this one. Ready?
He likes to do it with his rear leg.
It does open your middle up a little bit, where if I'm like this and I throw this kick, I do have a little bit more of my chest showing, my face showing. I'm a little more squared up than I would be with the side kick.
This is true. One thing about the roundhouse kick,
it also comes around the side. A lot of the strikes that people throw in street fights all come around the side here, right? Because you see people fighting, they're like this. They don't want to get touched in the face. They'll like throw these big shots, and they'll like start to charge in. It doesn't look pretty. And they get like almost pretty sideways, and they have kind of like a tightrope stance. Being able to knock them off balance left to right, big pro.
That's a really nice round kick.
If somebody's coming in, I'm like, oh, and I can take a step back and sweep out that leg, it's a win. Being able to pop somebody and give them a second thought on if they want to come in close enough to get kicked again, it's a pro. So let's talk about the different targets really quick for the roundhouse kick. Bang, to the legs. Usually their leg will be a little bit further out because they want their head further back. So it means
you want to hit it from the back of the knee, inside the kneecap,
it's not uncommon
to shin.
For like a kick to get caught, especially if it comes to the body. It's kind of natural instinct to want to grab.
If you shin
and
or
to the
really
head, not seen as much,
condition
but
to do those,
not seen as much, probably not caught as much. But the main issue is it getting caught on the shoulder. Like those roundhouse kicks, it connects, but it doesn't do enough to get all the way through. And it gets caught on the shoulder, and then I've got one of these. Can create a big problem. Let's talk about the cons of a roundhouse kick. Number one con, when I'm turning these hips over, if I miss, most people, even like really trained people, if they throw a hard roundhouse kick and it doesn't connect, it is putting your leg in front of your body.
It's not bad
like
because
what the side kick does if you miss the side kick. It's actually a little bit further away for the most part, because if I miss this, then my foot is further away from them than it would be if I missed the side kick. Con number two, street fights are all about explosiveness, driving forwards.
What's the thing about if you did miss with the round kick, you can pick it back up and throw a side kick. That's just me.
With low hands and low intent, then what'll happen is this guy's gonna bum rush through it, and even if that leg gets taken, and they can throw one over top.
What I'm saying is, if you did miss that roundhouse kick, I would pick it up to a second. It might not be towards the body, but it will definitely be a stop hit. Just saying.
You could be in a bad position. Con number three, we already talked about it. Bang, kick into the body, then being able to wrap up and just drive. You don't have to be a wrestler to be able to go like this. Ow! And take you on a ride. But one of the big pros that we talked about with the side kick, being able to go like this, bang, and throw other strikes going bang. Oh yeah, you didn't like that, huh? And being able to wrap up
I'm gonna do the punches first.
Combo with your roundhouse kicks to your punches, or your punches to your roundhouse kicks. Being able to go
I would throw a
fainting
knee
with the hands,
kick,
because what
then
happens
come
when
back
you
up,
even act like you're going to throw a punch in a street fight, the other person goes like this. Right? They have a reaction.
So what I would have done if I was gonna do a roundhouse kick first, I would not use my lean leg. I would use the rear leg. I would use my lead leg. Then I'll come back. Boom, boom. That will look something like this. You cannot see my feet, but if I be this leg here, this is my lead leg. I would pop it up. Boom. And then I go in, and I will use the straight lead from there, or because I do like the straight lead, because it gives me that more of the of that here, because if I hit here, bam, my hands is here. So if I do my lead leg, bam, I will not use my rear kick, because that one is mainly if I throw here and here, then bring my leg in, then that's a possibility. But if I was gonna use my round kick, I would go here first, because I'm out. Unless I hit that throwing punch, I come back and I can snap that kick up, hit him in the head, possibly knockout. If not, I can come back and throw a jab, maybe a jab, right? I can pop and come back with a jab, or whatever. Maybe if I come back, go for that slap to the ear, whatever I want. Let's continue on with this video.
Which is severe, because the consequences are severe. So if severe reaction really leaves the front leg open. You don't want that. Bang, let's talk about this front kick for a second. Icy Mike says the front kick is the best kick for self-defense. I disagree. I actually think it's a side kick. But he does have a good point. Front kick is a very easy to throw technique, because you do it the same way you run. Like, everybody knows how to run. It's the same concept. It's just adding a push towards the end of it and driving the hips. It's a strong kick, and you can get it at an angle that goes up and into the body. Side kick can go straight in. It can go up and into the body sometimes. Roundhouse kick can sort of do it, but this one's really good about going straight in into that diaphragm, which is huge for breathing. And breathing is a lot like holding yourself back from commenting on martial arts on the internet. If you can't do it, you can't fight. So being able to stuff somebody, it's a longer range attack. It's a really sturdy attack. Now, the reason that I don't like it as much is because a lot of people, as they throw kicks, start to lean backwards on this foot. As you start to lean further backwards, you have more of a risk of getting
hard to hard front kicks are
the
the best
kicks
kicks
are a lot harder to catch than a teep is, because of the way your foot sits.
like
Teep goes like this. I can wrap it up and pull it in here. Side kicks are a lot harder because you have to get through all that foot first. But front kicks have that same level of strike to kick capability because I can easily kick and throw punches because my hips are still facing my opponent. It also has a little bit higher level of variability. I can throw it with the front leg, I can throw it with the back leg, I can snap it up to the groin. Kicking up to the face I wouldn't recommend. I think it gives up too much of your hips and it's not worth it because not a lot of people in street fights fight like this. It's not like you're fighting wrestlers for the most part. You're probably going to be fighting somebody who's like this. It's their head way back, their stomach pushed forwards, which leaves a lot of good room for Muay Thai teep because of that backwards lean. You want to go against the grain. If their body's like this, you want to kick down. But enough about how good the front kick is for a street fight because you always have to take precaution. Let's talk about the cons. Con number one we kind of already talked about. It's the idea that you could get caught. Coming around the side, it's kind of easy to catch. If you stuff a front kick and your foot is not in the right place, aka your foot is not behind your hip. So if I kick like this, I need to have a brace. Because if I kick my foot like this, boom, I'm probably pushing myself back. Which we talked about with the side kick too. I want to have something on the backside of me to keep me pushing forwards. Same con that comes with the roundhouse kick. With turned hips come the ability to have more targets to get punched or grabbed or whatever. You have to be a little bit closer to throw a front kick and a little bit further away for a roundhouse and even further away from the side kick when it comes to your face to target ratio. But all of the cons...
That's false because side kicks can be thrown pretty close. The close side kicks or that's not meant for generate power, but a way for you to push somebody off you from you. That. I'm not saying he might not know that. When I took traditional karate, we had to take a chair and kick over. Left over. We was close to the. When I say close, I'm standing like this as I am with my bed. We had to stand and throw the kicks over the chair and still made that posture as you was in the horse stance. So there you go.
Are kind of the same thing. The side kick's the main different one here because of the more sideways stance. If you haven't yet, you should watch this video right here where I talk about when you should or when you're allowed to throw a kick in a street fight. All the different circumstances or situations that would allow you to actually throw a kick in a street fight. Whether or not you have experience, what kind of shoes are you wearing, are you warmed up, all that stuff. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it helped you out in some way. If you want more kicky content, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn.
So I hope you liked that video, guys. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel. I got more videos coming up. Don't forget watch my live videos on Wednesdays. It's gonna be good shit. I'm gonna tell you. We're gonna probably watch we'll do a Q&A, talk about my book a little bit. I'm out of here.